This video is a commentary on 7 Days to Die. It was created based on a Japanese video, so some words and grammar may be incorrect. Please be aware of this. In this video, I'll discuss why it seems like the probability of debuffs occurring has increased in A21 and summarize the reasons and countermeasures for it. Q. Is A21 prone to more debuffs? A. Yes, debuffs are more frequent in A21. They occur when attacked by hostile entities. Various debuffs can originate from these attacks, which can be healed. Your stats and armor's critical hit resistance serve as debuff resistance. When attacked, your resistance drops and debuffs may occur. The more successive attacks, the higher the debuff risk. When a survivor gets hit, debuff resistance decreases by -12% initially, then -19% for subsequent hits. This stacks up to -111%. Debuff resistance resets under certain conditions, like when an attack with debuff-inducing characteristics is applied excluding bleeding, or when there is no damage taken for about 15 seconds after the last hit. The first attack under some circumstances can lead to bleeding and fainting. The bleeding specification has changed in A21. It stops only after a bandage is fully applied, and damage isn't nullified by pain resistance Part 1 anymore. A survivor may also suffer a concussion, which affects skills, health, and stability. Painkillers can treat this immediately but require water. The first attack can, under certain circumstances, result in debuffs like bleeding, fainting, concussion, and infection. An example of an unfortunate debuff tower immediately after the start of A21 game. Debuff occurs with the first attack under certain conditions. As a result of the debuff lottery, bleeding and fainting occur simultaneously. Concussion also occurs as a result of debuff addition determination from fainting. Also suffered from infection due to the infection determination being out. Due to the decrease in maximum health from the concussion, debuff resistance decreases, and the decrease in movement speed from fainting increases the likelihood of debuff occurrence from pursuit. Used an emergency bandage for treatment, but had no painkillers or infection treatment medicine. Water decreases drastically due to the use of painkillers or searching for a stump. Death due to dehydration symptoms and infection, decreased stamina recovery power, unable to cope with combat. Why does a debuff occur with the first attack under certain conditions? It's likely due to a configuration error internally where the first exception handling is not applied to bleeding and fainting. We can infer that the same processing is being done as for the second attack and beyond. In other words, the specific conditions are when the debuff resistance decreases by less than 12% on the first hit. How specifically can you prevent the first debuff? Increase debuff resistance to 12% or more, specifically by equipping 3 or more pieces of armor. At the start of the game, you are not equipped with armor, so it's desirable to collect 3 pieces of duct tape and 15 pieces of cloth as soon as possible and make 3 pieces of cloth armor. This issue was reported as a bug a few days ago. The debuff bug in A21 b317 at 7 points of concern noted mismatched zombie motions and hit detections. The reach of small zombies was adjusted in b317, inadvertently removing debuff characteristics. However, this has been fixed for future builds. To increase debuff resistance, wear heavy armor, consume health bars for temporary plus 50% debuff resistance, and utilize items or perks. Be warned, debuff resistance decreases with neglected treatment, vehicle use, or if armor durability falls below half. In A21, deal with debuffs by equipping at least 3 pieces of armor and avoiding high-risk behaviors. Ensure quick weapon switching, and always carry medicine. Gathering medical supplies can be easier with targeted looting, stumps for wood and honey, drugstores for medicine, clothing stores for sewing kits, and deserts for aloe. Infections can be managed with supply quests or multiple trader visits. Always loot toilets for water and duct tape, and use water wisely, like making tea. A21 does have more debuff chances, mainly bleeding and fainting from the first attack. As prevention, equip armor and focus on collecting water and medicine. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe channel.